This is the city of Absalom, the city at the center of the world. Absalom is celebrating the Radiant Festival, a 3-month festival of epic proportions held once every 100 years. The celebration attracts all types: tourists, performers, merchants, inventors, as well as unsavory types, petty thieves, gangs, cults, and criminal enterprises. That's where we come in. We protect and serve. We are the Agents of Edgewatch.
Hey everyone, welcome to Roll for Combat, Agents of Edgewatch. I'm your GM and host, Steven Glicker, and in this week's episode, we find out if real-life skills translate into the RPG world. And spoiler, they do. So this is a very funny, interesting episode. So Seth, in real life, is a lawyer. And I always find it fascinating whenever something you do in real life intersects with what you do in role-playing. Now, I'm not really giving anything away, but they are in a hostage situation, and they do need to start negotiating. And when it comes to the negotiations, well, Seth does this all day for a living. So when you hear what he's doing and he starts negotiating, it's kind of funny because you're listening to this and he's using a lot of real world terms when he's, coming up with negotiation tactics. And it's just really funny because who would have thought that you go to play a role-playing game and a fantasy game and you're going to escape your hard day at work and dealing with legalese, and then you're doing the exact same thing in a fantasy world. It doesn't come up very often, especially people like me who are in technology. What I do for a living pretty much never intersects, except in the real world situation of like trying to get Roll20 working or any of the other technologies that you need to use nowadays to actually play a role-playing game. But every so often this does come up because like Seth is a lawyer. John actually worked for Blizzard and designed dungeons for World of Warcraft, some of the most iconic dungeons of all time. So he's very much into the layout and structure of maps, and even just criticizing like where traps are. He's kind of more like meta into this game than most people are. Jason is also into technology like me, but Chris is into food. Chris sells food for a living, and that actually comes up fairly often where we will talk about taverns or food or things that he's encountered in real life. So his probably comes up the most. And then I would say the second most would be Seth, because you do have negotiations, and these type of tropes of having to deal with hostages comes up not all the time, but not unforeseen, especially in Paizo products. They seem to like going back to the same well over and over again. So that is this week. Also this week, I did this a couple of weeks ago where I kept in some banter after the show, and I kept it in at the end. It sounds like people really enjoyed our banter, but they did want it separated out. So yeah, so basically we have the actual, adventure, and then it comes to a natural stopping point. And then I kept in our banter, and we actually talk about some pretty cool things that you could experience in New York City. There's actually some role-playing-esque play-like things. I don't want to give it away, but you're going to listen to us and probably get sad because you can't go to it anymore. But it is going to reopen, and the things we're talking about should hopefully be available again within the next 6 to 9 months, I hope. I'm hoping 12 months at the most, but it'll come back. But if you ever do come to New York, do what we talk about at the end of this week's episode. But with that, let's quickly get to show notes. So once again, we have been playing Among Us, and if you enjoy Among Us, you can play with us. We usually play once a week, and all you got to do is be a Patreon, just $2, and that's it. You can play Among Us with, pretty much this crew. The guys from the Circus podcast, they haven't really played with us yet, but almost everyone from Agents of Edgewatch has played Among Us, and it is a lot of fun. Again, to do that, just go to patreon.rollforcombat.com. Little's $2 and you can play with us. $5 and you guys get the episodes early. $10 and you can actually watch us play the games themselves and even chat with us, hang out with us. You know how it is. Lots of fun. As to other things going on, one thing I wanted to mention is that I don't talk about the other podcast, Extinction Curse, because that one, came out way before this one. But do check that one out, especially if you, haven't listened to it before. That one is very role-playing heavy. If you liked the Fall of Plaguestone, you'll probably like the Circus podcast, because that one is very similar. It has most of the same cast as Fall of Plaguestone. And something else that we're doing with that podcast is that, we're doing with this one too, is that we're breaking up the show into chapters. And that one is just about wrapping up chapter 1. And you could probably jump in now and, not even worry about it if you wanted to. You can, probably figure it out. If not, just wait a few weeks, and chapter 2 is going to be starting, which is going to be the beginning of book 2. And I'll give you a recap of everything that occurred. And one thing I've noticed about Extinction Curse is that it is a slow burn. The entire first book doesn't even get to sort of the main story. The first book is just almost an intro, believe it or not. And Paizo seems to do that a lot. Paizo seems to have their entire first book as intro chapters, and then they don't really get into the meat and potatoes until like book 2 or 3 even. And they sort of did the exact same thing with Extinction Curse. One of the nice things about Agents of Edgewatch is they get right into it. It just like jumps in both feet. And although the main story really hasn't even come close to poking its head up, it seems like they don't like to start the main story until you're like level 5. That's one thing I've noticed with Paizo, is that it seems like until you're level 5, you can't start the main story. Level like 1 through 4 is just building you up an intro, and then level 5 is where things begin. And this one is a little different. This one, you get a little bit of both. But Extinction Curse, I hate to say it, but you'll be able to jump in either right now or the beginning of chapter 2. You'll have no problem picking it up, because you will be able to jump right into the story and not really have missed that much. I mean, a lot of role-playing and a lot of character development. But in terms of the main story arc, it's only really just starting now. So make sure you check that out. Anyhow, with that, let's get to this week's exciting episode.
And so we could grab this guy by the scruff of the neck and say, guide us up there to the room that they're in. And we go up there and we try that negotiation.
Seth Lipton is playing Gomez, a goblin elementalist sorcerer.
Fine. Is my spider alive?
Yes.
Is she okay?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, all right.
Sleeping.
All right. As long as she's okay. Fine.
The sleep of the spiders.
John Statz is playing Cadet Dougie McDougal, a human ruffian rogue.
Let's go.
So we go. Lowman, can you be up here?
I am up here.
Chris Beamer is playing Lo Mang, an orc tiefling monk of the crane style.
You go up the stairs.
You could be next to me.
You go to the north.
Yeah.
And once again, you see that stairwell going upstairs. And she says, Cressel says, "We're coming up. They want to negotiate."
Yeah.
So what's the name of the new leader? What's the name of the named NPC?
Yeah, we're right behind.
Sherrick.
Sherrick. This is Officer Gomez of the Edgewatch. It's not too late. If the hostages are unharmed and you give them up, you will have fair treatment. We have not killed any of your people yet.
You hear from upstairs to say, "Okay, come on up and let's talk."
Come on up and let's talk. All right, as a sign of good faith, send down one of the hostages so we know that the rest are all right.
You hear nothing for a little while.
Can this guy yell up too? Here, we poke him.
Her. It's a girl. Keeps.
Oh, yeah. All right.
She's like, "Okay, one hostage," and they let one hostage go.
Does the hostage look unhurt?
All right, so we take the hostage into custody and check them out.
Okay. there's the hostage.
Yeah, that's
And
perception.
It's a woman. And she looks a little tired and dehydrated, but otherwise she seems fine.
What's the condition of the other hostages?
She looks at you and says, "Well, they're okay. We're all okay, but they mean business. If you don't give them what they want, they're gonna kill them. I can tell you that right now. They negotiate, I think, in good faith, but they ain't fooling around. There's knives to everyone's throats, and if you charge them, they're gonna kill everyone. I'm just lucky I got away. Can I go now? Can I go, please?
Sure, yeah, go.
Thank you.
Oh wait, no, don't go. You'll die in these traps.
Yeah, you'll die in traps. That's
yeah, just hang out here.
All right.
Have some water. Here,
All right.
have some canteen water. Just drink up. Yeah, there's a million traps.
It's like looking outside, and there's like a little crowd, and they're all cheering when they see one of the hostages come out, because this is a balcony, so everyone can see this, and everyone's like, yeah, they're all, look, a hostage, oh, look at that, they're doing such a good job.
I actually have gear. I can affix a grappling hook and rope and lower it, and so you can climb that if you want to get out, if you can.
Yeah, sure.
or lower them down.
I do that.
Okay. She appreciates, and she goes down, and
I'll leave it there, ready to go. It's how many feet down? Probably 20 or 10?
From there, I think it's from there, it's actually
we're up a level, so it's actually 30 or 40.
Jason McDonald is playing Basil Blackfeather, a Tengu empiricist investigator.
Yeah, it's 30, 35 feet up. It's actually pretty high up.
All right, so I have the 50-foot rope and the grappling connected to that corner.
Yep.
All right, and as part of that process, I give a low man back my bandana and or bandolier, and second verse same as the first.
Are you sure you don't want to have the bandolier? It's not really a weapon.
Well, my play is the classic, I'm coming in unarmed, as opposed to I have a bandolier full of scrolls that they don't know are not
True.
Scrolls.
All right.
And it's like I'm
It could be
playing the role,
messages like a
trying to play the
pigeon.
role. And I say, what's the NPC's name again?
Sherrick.
Sherrick.
All right, Sherrick. We appreciate your offer of good faith. And in return offer, I'm coming up to negotiate. I'm coming unarmed, and I'm approaching now. Call off your men. All right.
Little do they know, Gomez is never unarmed.
It's true. and I go up.
Are you sure you don't want any backup, Gomez? This could be dangerous.
Yeah, we can go right behind him, right around the edge.
If you hear me scream like a baby, just go in gangbusters.
All right, so I'll ready it.
Because things went sideways.
Yeah, can we go up right out of sight range and be next to him at least? I don't know where these.
Go up. I'll hang out there. How about that?
Yeah, as near as we can get without being threatening.
Well, there's
I
the
guess I can
second
even go
floor.
one more, maybe.
Well, now you can see the second floor.
And I'm completely unarmed also. Except for my crossbow, which I don't have in my hands right now.
Okay. You go upstairs. I presume you're bringing the other kobold with you.
You bringing the prisoner, Gomez?
Seth says yes.
No, you guys keep control of the prisoner.
Well, isn't that
that's our
part
only
of
bargaining chip.
That's
and that's why
part of
you
the
keep them.
negotiations.
That's why you keep the prisoner downstairs.
Okay, done.
All right, Gomez, you go upstairs. It is, very unfinished upstairs. As, let me explain to you. So this area is completely unfinished. It looks like the stairwell to the south was collapsed, so you went up the only stairwell. There's only one room that is finished, very large one to the west, where you presume everyone is hiding out. There is no guardrails or anything, so if you fall, it's quite a ways down. And this is only the second floor. Imagine what this thing will be like when it's finally done. In front of you is a set of double doors. What do you do?
I approach the doors and I call out, "This is Officer Gomez. I'm coming in."
You see a large unfinished room. Way to the west, you see a statue resembling the upper half of an armored warrior that seems to float above a stone pillar carved with dozens of tiny creatures. You see 3 mirrors positioned around the statue, and they're angled so to create an endless line of reflections of stone warriors stretching into infinity. At the shrine's feet, you see 5 humanoid workers. They are bound and gagged with their eyes wide in fear. 4 of them are right in front of you, all with knives right to their throats. 4 kobolds are standing behind each of the hostages. Behind that line, there's 4 more kobolds and 1 hostage. So you see a total of 8 kobolds in a pincer formation, followed by a wall of 4 hostages, all with knives at your throat. You know that you will not have enough time to cast a heal spell. If they get their throats slit, they will instantly die, as that will be more than enough critical damage to kill an NPC humanoid. So it's all or nothing. What do you do?
I approach with my hands up.
You can't make an omelet.
I try to figure out, just from the look of it, unless Sherrick identifies themselves, herself. I try to figure out who it is.
Okay, you see a kobold who is gold in color, with lots of gold rings and jewels on her eyebrows, and you presume that's Sherrick. She says to you, "I am Sherrick. Dragon Mage Sherrick. Please come no closer. I do not want to harm anyone. All we want are some simple demands, and we'll let everyone go." "And what is your name, good sir?"
I'm Officer Gomez of the Edgewatch. Things have gotten out of hand downstairs, but here's your situation: kidnapping, assault of officers, murder from the bodies downstairs. This has gone beyond simply a labor dispute. All of you are in serious trouble, depending on what you do in the next few moments. Now, from what I'm able to tell, the violence and the crime element of this could be laid at the feet of your Urstyle leader that we already have in custody, that attacked me immediately when I first attempted to negotiate. That means if you surrender now, and if you give up all the hostages right now, then the crime elements of this will likely be able to be put on that person's head where it belongs. You will be able to turn state's evidence, and then after that, we'll be able to engage in a negotiation under impartial mediation for the substance of the labor dispute, which should have been done originally. Like, we should not have gotten extrajudicial about this. But first, we have to worry about the crime element of this, and the fact that you are right now kidnapped workers and are holding them hostage. That has to be resolved first. Then, under impartial mediation, we can discuss the issues that are your true concern about your labor conditions. But this has to be done first. You have to go with the hostages, or else we can do nothing for you.
She says, "Well, you're very well spoken, Mr. Gomez. And what you say sounds okay so far in theory. I agree, it did get out of hand, as battle leader Renkrek. She's notoriously hot-headed, and from what I understand, that you attacked first. That is what they told me as they ran upstairs. Isn't it right, Dupa?" And Dupa, who's the one who you first negotiated with, is standing right next to us. Yeah, they attacked first. He attacked first. I'm at a bit of a crossroads myself, because they're saying that you attacked first, and that battle leader Renkrek just defended herself. So what am I supposed to do in that situation? And although you speak of illegalities, what about how we've been treated? That Amma and the other architects were treating us illegally. They violated their contract, and that led to this in the first place. So what are we to do about that, as they broke their legal obligations to us? We tried to go by our legal routes. We tried to get this resolved peacefully, but we were continuously stonewalled, yet forced to work significant slave wages and over hours and brutal conditions at night. What about them?
Well, like I said, the claims that you have about the labor conditions can still be and should have been approached legally through the legal channels, through the courts, without resorting to criminality and without resorting to these terrorist tactics. As far as us attacking first, come on. I invoke diplomacy and I look at him and Duplo is his name. It's like, Duplo, you know that's not true. You know I came in there completely unarmed, on my own. What would I attack you with? My fingernails? You know damn well that I was as unarmed then as I am right now, and look at me. I am a little goblin.
He lies.
What could I have done?
He lies. Diplo's saying, he lies. He lies. He was casting magic and things out of his hands. Look, he's a wizard. I tell you, he attacked us. He attacked us.
Well, the situation is this: if you continue to hold the hostages and we can have no negotiation, then we will be forced to attack. And when we attack, you will lose, and you will all die. You'll either die in the fight, or you will die from the scaffolding for the murders that have been committed as part of this criminal act. Now, what I want to ask you is, if we attacked first, why aren't we still just attacking? If we were so ready to just attack you then that we were just going to bum rush and attack, why are we still not doing it? Though you had the hostages then, you have the hostages now. What he is saying makes absolutely no sense. And the truth is what makes sense. What makes sense is I, coming here unarmed, putting myself completely within your power, am acting in good faith. And I do appreciate that you did act in good faith in releasing that one hostage. So I was hoping that we could have a negotiation based on that good faith. But don't believe this man who's just saying this a liar, when that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, and you know it.
So Dappa continues talking, and Sherek just calms her down and says, okay, stop. Okay, fine. How about this? Can you at least get Amma to put in writing that we will get all of our back pay, and they will adhere to the contract, and just get that in writing and bring that here, and we will let everyone go. That's all I ask.
I have a counter proposal. Give me half the hostages now. I will talk to the foreman, and I will, on the basis of releasing the other half of the hostages, have them agree to binding arbitration from an impartial mediator that's agreeable to both parties.
Okay. Also, I want that in writing, and I want no further reprisals for the deaths of the workers, which we will all gladly talk about in detail. That was Battle Leader Rankrick and all her doing. And they all shake their heads and says, yeah, she was going crazy. She was shooting them with arrows and crossbow bolts, and she was just losing her mind. And they're all like talking. And then she just stops them, and she says, shh, shh. It's like, yes. It's like, the Battle Leader, is she still alive? Did you take her in, or is she dead?
No, we have her in custody.
Well, you can do with her as you wish.
I myself witnessed that she gave the order to attack. She did so insanely, and
Yes.
I will testify to that in court.
Yes.
Now it is not up to me. I am not the judge. It will be up to, and that's actually a good question. Is it up to the courts, or is it up to my magical badge? I don't know which.
A little bit of both.
But it will be up to the law to decide ultimately. It will be up to the law and facts to ultimately decide. But I can say this: I will testify on your behalf, and if you turn state's evidence against it, the justice will be placed into the right, in the right place. Justice will not be misplaced on anybody who doesn't deserve it.
Okay, you seem honorable. She grabs one of the hostages from behind, and cuts the ropes, and pushes him forward, and then pushes one more and says, "Okay, there were 6 hostages. That's 2 more. That's half. So." We have 3, and you have 3. That's all we have left. I think that's fair.
All right. So how do the other hostages look?
They have knives to their throats. They're bound.
No,
they're
physically.
gagged. They look.
Like, are they beat up?
No. Nope.
All right.
No beatings. No. They actually look, again, just a little malnutrition, a little dehydration. Otherwise, they look fine.
And what about the kobolds? How did they all look?
They look ready to spring to action.
I mean, physically, do they look hungry or thirsty? I look around the room. Do they have supplies up here?
They have enough behind it. Yeah, they've been eating. They're fine. It looks like they've been actually feeding. I mean, but this way, the hostages look as good as hostages can look. considering the circumstances. They were not treated poorly.
Okay. Allow me to perform healing upon the hostages, and see to their comfort a little bit, and then I'll go and I'll carry out our deal.
She looks at you and she puts a hand up, and you see magic coming from it. She says, "Okay, no tricks. I will trust you that you're going to be a goblin of your word and just heal. Okay. Otherwise, they die, and I zap you."
Okay. I go over here, in the center of all of the hostages, and I cast my last 3-action heal, bathing healing power on everybody in the room.
Ooh, look at that. 2. Good enough.
Hey,
So-
that heals me up to full.
You're not in the area of effect.
I'm right behind him
No, you're not. You're not in the
on
room.
the stairs. We're all behind him on the stairs.
It doesn't go
aren't
through
we?
walls.
No, you're far away. You're
Yeah, it's 30
you're
feet
like-
and it's ammunition. It does not go through walls. So
yeah, like you're through a wall and down a thing and over a bridge.
Oh,
All right, and I take a moment and I like reassure. I use my diplomacies and I reassure the relevant hostages. And in all doing this, I'm showing my good intentions and humanity, as it were, given I'm a goblin. And then I say, "All right, I'll be back once I negotiate with the foreman." And I wait for them to let me get out.
So you leave, and you can tell that this dragon mage, the Sherrick, is sharp. Like, she's very smart.
Right.
She's very intelligent. She's very even talked, and you feel like you can trust her. And you feel like this did just get out of hand, and she was at her wit's end. That's what you feel in your gut. That this probably will go well if you hold up your end, but now you have to convince Amma to hold up her end.
Right. All right. So take I relay everything to the rest of the party.
Oh,
And-
what about the traps? What's the story with that? Why is this whole area trapped, and who did that?
They did it. They're kobolds. That's what they do. That's their thing. Is they trap stuff.
yeah. They're pretty elaborate for.
No, kobolds.
I mean,
kobolds,
it
that's
looks
what
like
they're
it's
known for.
part of
Kobolds.
the exhibit almost.
You just walk downstairs, you have the hostages, and you relayed everything. Now what?
Yeah. So I scribble on my paper languages, and I use my legal knowledge to make it formal and better than how I'm going to verbally summarize it.
Legal lore. Look at that. Came in
Yeah.
handy.
The foreman, the foreman agrees to binding arbitration from an independent arbitrator to be decided by both, to be agreed by both parties, to adjudicate the issue of the workers' treatment and compensation and conditions, for the period of it that we're concerned with.
Hey,
take that
Seth,
information.
did you ever think you'd get to use your real life legalese
I know,
in a Pathfinder game?
I know. The funny thing is,
Applause.
the funny thing is, game mastering. Like, you're a fucking lawyer. That's a lot of it is used all the time. And but I want to go actually, so I don't get surprised. I actually go back up to talk to them again and show the leader of the kobolds what I intend to get the foreman to sign, and ask them to sign their side of it, and then I'm going to take that and do my negotiation to get her to sign.
It's almost like you've done this before. So you go upstairs, you hand the little piece of paper to Sherrick. She reads it over, and she's like, "Well, I'm not well versed in the legalities of Absalom." And
If you have any questions, be free, totally ask. I want you to completely understand what you're agreeing to.
Yes, she just wanted to make sure that the newly established Kobold Trade Union And she looks at everyone, and they seem like confused. She's like, well, that's what I'm calling us, is the newly formed Kobold Trade Union is treated with respect and is given equal pay and equal rights to all other workers. And if they wish to discuss illegal arbitration, and that you put in that Renkrick was responsible, and we will hopefully have no more repercussions. We will guarantee no more further reprisals or deaths. We will tell you where any and all traps are, and we will leave peacefully and let the hostages go.
I could totally put those grievances as the subject of discussion for the mediation. I can absolutely do that. I could actually do that as a clause there that this acknowledges that arbitration will be the only resolution of any mutual grievances that you might have amongst each other. There'll be no
I feel like this is costing me $600 an hour. Right?
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah, there'll be no petty, there'll be no petty outside bullying or reprisals or anything outside. It's like the mediation is how all grievances will be settled. And I can put all that into the agreement. How does that sound?
Excellent. Wow, maybe you can become a lawyer if this guard thing doesn't work out.
Thought about it. All right, and so I get their signature, and it's like their signature as representative of whatever they're calling their trade union.
The Kobold Trade Union, and Sherrick is representing the Stone Scale Kobolds.
Okay, and I'm gonna get I get a verbal nod from everybody here that you all sign on to this, right?
Oh, me?
No. I'm talking about all the other kobolds.
Oh yeah, they all say it's like whatever Shrek does, we do, and they're all supporting Shrek.
Okay, and I get a sense that that's okay. I don't have them all to have to initial a goddamn thing or anything.
No.
Okay. All right, so out I go, and downstairs. And down, it's like, and I have that business about like they agree, and that's all in there too. What they offered about they agreed to remove all the traps and stuff in preparation for this negotiation, all that, or preparation for this arbitration and all that. So downstairs, talk to the foreman. How do you want to do that?
You can go down the rope, and there's Amma with the hostage. Hey, look at that.
All right, so I give an overview of the situation. Like I explain how it looks like it was that one over there that that is the ringleader that actually did all the damage. That's the one that's going to hang for this, probably. When they give up the hostages, there will be a judicial process to resolve the question of all the crimes that were committed, like the hostage taking and all of that. But for the remaining hostages to get freed, to settle the underlying labor dispute, which was the cause of all this, I need you to sign this agreement to agree to binding independent arbitration on those labor issues. And I reassure you that you'll both be able to, okay the arbitrator, and there'll be no, they'll get the scales will be fairly weighed. They're not going to get any advantage in those negotiations. But in order to get those three people out of here and safe, we need your signature on this paper.
She quickly looks it over. She lets out a sigh. She's like, I should have never tried to cut corners. I didn't expect kobolds to be so savvy. Fine. It's like everything she says is true. They were being treated poorly. We were trying hard to get this done, and my other superiors and others thought we could just get away with murder because they're kobolds, and how would they know that they were getting paid less? And this is a disaster. We're going to have to start this whole project over again. Fine.
I understand. If you could just sign here, please.
Okay. And so she She's grateful. She's like, I understand. You're doing an excellent job, and this was our fault to begin with. She quickly signs it and says, "Okay, just." In fact,
as soon as I get the signed paper back, I mutter under my breath, and it's too bad those 4 men had to die for your mistake. And I go back upstairs.
Gomez is realizing that kobolds actually had a very legitimate grievance here. Like, this was they were getting treated like garbage from what you can guess, and this was not cut and dry. There was no good people in this. There was no good answers in this development. You get the paper, you run back upstairs, and there's Sherrick.
And I say, I have the paper here. Hold it. You can see it. I'll give this paper to you, but you got it for the other prisoners.
She looks at it and sees the signature and sees like everything from Amma. She says, "Okay, I agree. Let everyone go. Let's leave this place." And they let everyone go, and they surrender.
I know. It's like that. So then I say, let's get the rest of the party up here. Okay, so now there's the formality where I apologize, but we are going to have to take you into custody for the formality of dealing with with the criminal action that needs to be resolved and put on the head of that one.
I don't think they're going to understand that.
They understand. She knows what's going on.
I guess the other question is, are we going to still have to clear out the Sturges or the Bloodseekers to the south?
Nah, you don't have to.
Well, let's look at section 14 of our agreement on that.
I know. Does that like that might be the subclause of the trap clause of where they're going to clear out the traps? They might count.
They have to do it. All right, good.
All right.
Well done, Seth.
You successfully get all the hostages freed. They're very happy. The kobolds are taken into custody, and that will all be taken care of at the station. Your backup appears, the paddy wagon, if you will, to gather up all the kobolds, and they go peacefully, except for the battle leader, who's screaming and yelling. It's like, "I'll kill you all! I'll take every one of you down with me! You humanoids! You're weak! You're weak, I tell you! Attica! Attica!" She's like going crazy. She doesn't want to have anything to do with this. So,
well,
she's
she'll have a nice long rest.
It's actually better that she went nuts and attacked first. Like, if I had to do that negotiation with that person being on the other side, it never would have worked.
That's right.
Yeah, you realize that the legal system in Absalom is quick, just, and harsh, and she will probably be put to death. But we'll find out about that later. Anyhow, in the meantime, they will. You can meet with them back at the
back to the station.
At the station. But the hostages are free, and
excellent.
Up to you what you want to do.
No more blood was spilled.
Yes, you came here to talk to these people, so now's your chance.
Oh, that's right. We debrief and talk to. That's right. The engineers, the 5 engineers, are amongst these hostages, right? And we want to interview them now, right?
I'm still on the stairs. Are we still on the stairs?
It's up to you. I mean, if you want to continue going
where
through...
Where should we...
You can go downstairs. You can just go down the rope and leave and not worry about the rest of the temple, as they will clear it out.
Yeah, my sense, it would be like a lot of... My sense would be there would be a process of turning people over to people and debriefing and putting people in ambulances and kind of ending up in some location where the
that would be back at the station.
Where the 5 engineers are in some kind of interview room, like after they've been processed and dealt with and attended to. That's my thought.
Well, if you want to do it there, we can do it there. That's up to you.
Yeah, because I mean, like, it seems like
right.
The repercussions is like whatever is left is cleared. Like, we've got the person, the animal handler that can take care of the Bloodseekers, unless those were not part of their plan.
Like, if this was a movie, I would imagine there would be a montage sequence and a scene change. You know?
Okay, then here we are. We are back at the station. Ta-da!
Choo-choo!
So, Jason, you're the investigator guy. Do you want to talk to them?
I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes.
Okay, so you all head back to the station. Everyone is spread out. You have interview rooms. Sherrick is also being debriefed and being interviewed. So there's a lot going on. The place is filled with kobolds and hostages. And Sergeant Olo comes up to you and says, "What is going on here? I thought you were going to get some workers to talk about the missing... What's all these kobolds? What have you been doing? Does trouble just follow Red Squad? Is Red Squad a jinx? A curse?
Well, sir,
or blessed? I can't tell."
Sir, you kind of handed us a hostage situation. It turns out that some kobolds had taken the missing stonemasons hostage to try to get their pay increased. So, we resolved the situation, and we'll give a full report on it.
Oh, so the 5 specialist stonemasons and sculptors, they went missing days ago. Didn't this just happen like yesterday?
Oh, wait, these aren't the stonemasons? Sorry.
Looking around, he's saying the hostages, I'll call them the workers. The workers say, no, the stonemasons and sculptors, we haven't seen them in days.
Sorry, out of character, I misunderstood. I thought the
That's okay.
Yeah, I misunderstood it also. I thought
That's okay. That's okay. It's very confusing. So,
well, we're hoping we kind of had to resolve this hostage situation first, but hopefully now that we have these people freed, maybe we can find out what happened to the stonemason.
Okay, well, get interviewing, find out. Find out what happened to the stonemasons, and good job with the hostage. We'll gather all the items and see what we get out of all that, and then sure enough, you see the battle leader getting escorted, and it's like muzzled at this point because she's like like going crazy trying to like fight everyone.
That one's got some pretty hefty charges pending.
Yeah, I heard all about it. I heard that kobold went a little nuts. All right, well let's start talking to them. So here we have the 6 hostages. Keep calling them hostages. The 6 workers. Like so you want to know about the specialists, the stonemasons?
Yeah, the stonemasons that have been missing. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, they look around like, well, we're just workers. We just work the day shift, and those stonemasons, they didn't really talk to the common laborers. We came from Minkai together. We all came together, but they're architects, they're stonemasons, they're crafters. They were staying in much nicer places. We were just staying like at a flop house nearby. And
who did they tend to interact with?
Well, I heard they're like talking to each other. They're like, well, we heard that the night they went missing, I heard them talking about, and they were complaining about the shabbiness of their assigned quarters, and they were going to talk to who was the guy who arranged all of this, and one of them was like German Hoff. Like, oh yeah, that's right. They were going to talk to German Hoff about finding them better accommodations, and no one's seen them since. So they're like, yeah. It's like, yeah, we heard them complaining. They didn't like the shabbiness of the place they were staying, and they all left to get better accommodations. We thought they just were like partying or something.
Did they particularly have any interactions with the kobolds, or were they just were they also keeping a distance from them?
No, they're specialists. They barely were on the project. They would do all their work off-site, so they barely talked to anyone. They just kept to themselves.
Well, I guess we'll probably have to go back to that Amma Uman or whatever and talk to her about getting their address or whatever.
Oh well, we can tell you where we were staying. Yeah, and they tell you it's just like a local flop house, like nothing too great, very low rent apartments nearby. They were saying, yeah, we're like 4-door room and we got bunk beds. It's nothing great.
Is that where they were staying too initially?
Yeah, they were staying there. They didn't like it. I mean, they had 2-door room. It was a little nicer for them, but they thought the place was way too below their pay grade. They wanted to stay somewhere much nicer. Yeah.
And this German Hoff, is he a member of the construction team, or is he the innkeeper? What's his relationship to all this?
Sergeant Olo hears that word. He says, "Did you say German Hoff?"
That's who they were. That's one of the last people they apparently talked to before they disappeared.
He puts his head on his hands. He goes, "Oh, well, it's got really complex really quickly. It's like Germanhof is a very powerful Absalonian labor broker and leader of this community. He's not someone you just see. So, and now even Sergeant Ola was saying, so wait, so to Jeremy Hoff, was he the one who negotiated the deal?" And they're all looking around at each other, and they're like, yeah, he's the one who negotiated. Goes, yeah, that all makes sense. So Sergeant Ola turns to you and Basil and says, well, he's an incredibly powerful labor broker, and he usually wins bids to provide local labor as well as help get all the permits in place, get everyone paid off. He's notoriously corrupt. He's always skimming building funds, bribing inspectors, finding materials from sketchy people. But there's nothing we can do about it because he is friends with some of the most powerful people in Absalom. And if he's involved, I don't know what we're going to do.
I'm going to do a society check to see if I know anything above and beyond that.
Very good. You know something. You know, and even you've heard of him. Now, you are from Absalom, correct, Basil?
Correct, yes.
Okay, good. So you have even heard of him now that you hear his name and it's starting to ring a bell, and you're like, oh yeah, this guy is one of the leading power brokers in Absalom and has built some of the most impressive and some of the biggest construction projects in Absalom. You also know he's incredibly hard to get to and has a cadre of incredibly powerful guards with him at all times. You also know that he is often at an elite social club in the underworld called the House of Plains. It's a bit of a speakeasy, and he he mostly lives there. And that is probably where you can find him. You also know that the House of Plains is about 15 steps above your pay grade, and there's zero chance that you'll ever get into that place, no matter who you say you are or what you represent, as you are lowly beat cops who have been on the job for 2 days. There is no chance you'll get to see this guy.
And this is that Hoff guy?
That is Hoff, correct.
Is that something we can hand up the chain to our supervisors and see if they can get in to see him then? Or
You could try, but it would probably take weeks, if not months, to get an appointment to see him. He's and also
We
Olo
don't know
says,
the guy.
Yeah, no.
Nobody is above the law.
Well, I know, but the thing is, Olo's like, well, again, this is just hearsay. This is just questioning. We don't have nearly enough to even maybe talk to him at most. He says, but he thinks about it. He goes, I have an idea. And he looks at the kobolds and he's like, Sherrick, come over here. Sherrick comes over and looks at you all and says, oh, Mr. Gomez, nice to see you again. Yes, thank you so much. Well, I'm finding your Edgewatch to be quite accommodating and treating us all very nicely. I'm very happy that you negotiated with us and not some hothead, someone loose that could have ended this all in tragedy. It looks like we're being treated quite seriously, and your legalese seems to be working quite well.
So I'm glad to hear you say that, and hopefully if you ever run into any labor disputes in the first year, you'll come to us first, right?
Yes, definitely. I will ask for you by name, Mr. Gomez. But what can I do? What can I do to help you? And Olo says, so there's this speakeasy called the House of Plains, and it's literally underground in the Undercity. You know anything about that? Sherrick looks at you all, and a wide smile goes on her face and says, maybe. We are from the Undercity. We know all sorts of tricks and ways to sneak into places we shouldn't be. Olo looks at you, Basil.
interesting. Well, What sort of skills do you have for dealing with underground infiltrations, as it were?
Well, she goes on to say, I know of the House of Plains. Everyone knows of the House of Plains. I know that there's a back entrance, a secret back entrance that can only be got into through the Undercity. You have to do a little bit of spelunking, but I think you might be able to get in unnoticed.
I see. Well, I'm sure any help that you can provide us in terms of finding it, or either drawing us a map or actually leading us to it, would be taken into account when dealing with your legal situation.
Captain Olo looks at Dragon Mage Sherrick and says, looks like the Kobold Trade Union is about to strike its first deal with the Edgewatch. It's quite interesting. I'll tell you what. Let's work up some paperwork. You tell us what you can about sneaking into this place, and see if we can arrange a little meeting with Hoff. He looks at the four of you and says, "No time like the present. How about this? I want you all to rest up and then go to wardrobe. And every one of you dress to the nines." He looks at every single one of you and says, "Wow, in fact, you are gonna fit right into the House of Plains, because they love the unusual and out of place." And he looks at each of you. He looks at Basil, Dougie, Gomez. He looks Lomang up and down, and a huge smile goes on his face. He goes, "Oh, this is going to go quite well. I think you're going to be able to fit right in and get the information that we need."
I want to see Lomag in a suit.
Yes, I look good. I clean up good.
So he says, "Oh, you're going to like wardrobe. They got everything you could imagine and then some."
What about a dress uniform?
No.
We don't wanna go as cops.
No. He says,
Yeah, we
no.
went undercover.
Oh,
He says,
But I like the
no.
concept of a dress uniform a lot.
He's like, Dougie,
Yeah.
no. This is an undercover assignment. If you come in as cops, they'll throw you out in 2 seconds. No. You're gonna have to go in and figure out and get to him stealthily. Maybe in conversation, just talk to him and find out what happened. Who knows what you could find? These are some of the most powerful people of all of Absalon. And today, being the second day of the Radiant Festival, who knows what you're going to find out there? Ooh, I like this more and more I think about it. You up for it?
Sure.
Yes, sir. Yes.
I'm pretty sure Basil's
Sir,
got his
yes,
own clothes
sir.
for this challenge.
Ooh, this is going to be exciting. Okay.
Ooh.
And he's like giving you all the information of like where to go and go to the wardrobe. And he's like, okay, you got to dress to impress. Got to dress to the nines. Got to make sure this is the top of the top of Absalom. You got to make sure you fit in. So make sure you go downstairs, go to wardrobe, get yourself familiar with it, and find the best fitting suits and dresses and lingerie. Well, not what am I?
Lingerie? Good God, man!
Where am I thinking?
Huggy
What
Bear's-
kitchen is this? It's one of those.
Dougie's going to dress up like a pimp. I think he's going to be a
How
Huggy
doing?
Bear.
So you have
Roll for combat after dark.
you have basically about 8 to 10 hours before you need to go down, before you need to start, because the party won't even really get started until about midnight, 2 in the morning. So you have all day to get ready. In addition, you get some rewards for your hard work.
Yay.
You get from your hard work
To offset the 84 gold we spent on potions and scrolls.
Yeah, no, I think I blew through about at least 16 gold worth of potions.
God damn. That is good.
That was a 16
That's gonna be
gold
hard.
fight for me.
I could see the writing on the wall when it comes to that.
You're gonna say 16 gold, aren't you?
No. So he goes through, he looks at everything and pulls it all together and says, "All right, you did a great job here, and I'm kind of abstracting all this. It's like between the fines that were levied against the McKinney construction workers and the damage that was caused and everything you were able to do today," he pulls out a receipt and he hands you 200 gold pieces.
Whoa. Out of character. We need to catch
25
more
each,
murderers.
Yeah, really. So what is that? That's 50 each?
50 each.
All right, so can we just split it up 50 each?
25 each.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm so crazy. I'm so tired.
50 each.
Yeah, I know. My math, I can't even call it math was off.
So now I have 50 gold pieces and 5 copper. Woohoo!
Right. Lucky has 51, Basil is 58, Lomang is 56, and Gomez is 50. That's a lot. You can start getting some pretty nice things with all that, and you have time. You have time to, if you want anything magical, or, you have a little time to get
How much
shopping.
does it cost to get like a armor rune? How much are those?
Those are pretty steep.
I know exactly what I want. Just let me know when you want. I'm gonna get another rune and another dagger. So I have 2+1 daggers now. Oh shoot! I can't just transfer. How much does it cost to transfer a rune? That does cost
3.5 gold.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
I'm gonna transfer them all to the daggers. I'll use the double daggers.
Really? Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can use daggers. I mean, you might want to look at it. Just take your time because there's lots of weapons. You can use any of those. There's a lot of good weapons that you can use. Doesn't have to be daggers. The daggers only do 1d4. You can do 1d6.
I'm still
can join
looking
Team
for that
Swordcade.
ability, and I can't find it in
I'll show
Pathfinder.
it to you. It's easy. It's right here. I'll show you.
The rule books.
So like scrolls, I could buy 2nd level scrolls, can't I?
No, because you have to be 3rd level to cast 2nd level spells. So.
Even from a
buy.
scroll?
Yep. You can't cast them unless you can cast them.
Boo.
That's how it works. It's very simplified, but that's how it works.
You know, I think the 12 gold lesser healing is actually worth it. I mean, it's only, it's twice the healing for 50% more cost. So for combat heals, it's not bad.
Oh yeah, totally. It's totally good for combat.
Yeah, potion. You could buy a 2nd level potion healing. Absolutely.
I have one.
Like those 1st level healing potions are garbage.
They are garbage. It's 2d8 plus 5. It's so much better.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, it's actually better than 3 of those.
It's almost like 3,
Yeah,
exactly.
the +5 floor immediately makes it almost better.
Yeah, the +5 is insane because that stops the 1 from happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because basically it costs the same as three potions, and it guarantees
Sure.
you're guaranteed
Better.
you're rolling a 5
Yeah.
on at least one of them.
And then when in combat, are you ever going to? I mean, you're going to need more than 8 hit points. You're going to want to have a bigger heal. Almost always.
John, I mean, it's page 283. When you critically succeed an attack roll using a simple weapon and the target is flat-footed condition, unable to focus on defending, you also apply the critical specialization effect for the weapon you're wielding. You don't gain these benefits if the weapon has a damage die greater than D8. So,
In addition to your sneak attack damage, if you have that on.
Yeah.
maybe. In addition to whatever that would be, yes.
That's crazy good.
Yeah, so that's in the advanced player's guide. Are you in the advanced
No.
player's guide?
No, I'm in the regular player's guide.
283? That's not even in
Yeah, it
the
is.
classes section.
Hold on, let me look it up.
Yeah, that is in.
Yeah, critical specialization effect. Oh, that's the specialization effect. Here, I'll tell you where it is in the. That's under equipment. Sorry.
Scrolls don't come back in this game, do they?
No, they're gone forever.
I'm just saying that because of the way Hero Lab is dealing with scrolls, it deals with it in a weird way.
So is that under Ruffian? Is that what I'm?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, because I can't find Ruffian. There's a couple references to it. It's not. There's no.
Hold on.
I know that a lot of times you have to take a feat to be able to
No,
unlock.
it's automatic.
Not for me though.
I spent the entire time we were playing
Page
looking
180.
for that.
Page
180?
180. Yeah.
Okay, it's right in the beginning. I'm
Second
looking.
paragraph. When you
Okay.
critically succeed at an attack roll using a simple weapon. Second paragraph, third sentence.
Under Ruffian. Okay, all right. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah. No, it is ridiculously powerful.
It's funny that that's not mentioned in
it's in Hero Lab.
Hero Lab.
Yeah. If you want, I can go through all your your characters. This is the thing with Pathfinder. You get a lot of special abilities. A lot. I mean, you're level 2 and you already have a lot. Wait until you're like level 5 or 6.
Well, usually they'll give a special ability a name.
I know, but there's just a lot.
I've just trained to do that.
Yeah,
and if
I
you
know.
don't have a name, then
yeah, it's a little
so
different.
that's why I missed it.
Yeah.
Okay, this is good. I can actually take it over from here. I'll learn.
Yeah.
my
So what you
character
should
better.
do? Yeah. I'm not chastising you. Trust me.
No. That's
it's hard.
Right.
It's these characters are tough. But
this one's buried. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of things buried. I mean, Monk is a very complex one. This is semi-complex. Investigator is incredibly complex. Ironically, Seth took the easiest character by far. Sorcerer is the easiest one.
I don't know. Him buying those scrolls didn't sound easy at all.
Well, the spellcaster is usually the hardest one, and his is by far the easiest.
That's funny.
It's very straightforward.
Yeah, it's very straightforward. The investigator is probably the most complex one, and will only get more complex, which is fine. But that's why I say it's like you just have to learn your characters because you're gonna have so many special abilities that I can't do it for you. So you just gotta remember.
Now I wish I'd taken that. If we're going into a social encounter or social heavy encounter, now I wish I'd taken Squawk.
Can I tell you what I did with that money?
Already?
Can I tell you? Yeah, I just did.
That was
It's
fast.
super simple. I bought 2 of the lesser healing potions. Those are the 2d8 plus 5 ones. And I bought back the scrolls that I used, and I bought 2 additional ones. They're 4 each, so it should add up. I was like doing a
You had
Hero
two.
Lab,
You
so
had 2 scrolls of hero left. I have a whole sheet here. I'm keeping track of.
Right. So it should add up to 10 gold pieces left, 6 healing scrolls total,
And 5 copper.
including the ones that are, and 5 copper, including the ones that I already have, and the 2 lesser healing potions, and with 10 gold pieces change. 24 and 16 is 40, and so that'll leave me with 10 gold pieces left.
Yeah, you have 10 gold pieces left.
And,
Yep.
5 copper.
And 5 copper.
And that's it. That's my reset. That and a good night's sleep, and that's my reset.
There's no good night's sleep. You're going tonight.
Oh, god damn it. I thought we had 8 hours.
No, you have 8 hours, but you have 8 hours in the afternoon.
I want a power. Can I power nap? I want a power nap.
Oh no, it's another long day, buddy. This is the longest. This is
god
like,
damn it.
you guys have to. I know.
Because that's hard, man. It's like
I know.
It's like
I know.
It's like I don't have any spells. All my spells are my cantrips and my scrolls. That's it.
Yeah, well, you also have more gold. Jason, this is like more gold than you had in Plaguestone time 50. I mean, it's like you.
I think you're right. I don't recall it. I think maybe we were getting up toward 50 right at the end of the campaign.
Yeah, like 50 gold. You have had hundreds of gold already. You've had.
I'm saving mine. I'm
441
putting mine
gold.
on layaway.
So you have
Putting it in the bank.
441 gold in 2.
Yeah, I'm a
levels.
little concerned because I see the writing on the wall, and it seems like all the money that I have is going to be burned almost immediately.
And let's see your experience.
Level 3. Ding a ding ding.
You're pretty close.
What?
Believe it or not? Yeah.
For what did we? Oh, I
We
guess
took care of business.
Yeah, I mean those are. Yeah, we had 7. We killed 7 kobolds and a spider.
spider.
No, it's by doing everything you did.
Yeah.
And we negotiated
ready?
this with a lot.
Yeah, you have your total experience is.
A +1 armor potency is 160 gold. A +2 is.
Oh, did that head?
1,060.
Speaking of which,
Damn.
did that head kobold have anything good on her? The one that's going to be executed?
Well, I converted it to gold, but yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, that's where a lot of money came from. I bet.
yeah.
Okay.
I converted it to gold. You have 1,531 experience points, so you're halfway to 3rd level already.
Wow, that's awesome. I love it.
It's a fast advent.
I thought each level was 1,000. Exactly.
It is 1,000. Well, you're so.
Oh, that's our total. That's our
your total. So you have 531 gold as
Okay.
experience. don't think all kobolds are evil, because they weren't. Like that battle leader was insane, and the mage who you ended up working with, she did not want to have anything to do with her. Like they just wanted pay. They really didn't.
Yeah, I get all that. Like it's funny.
Yeah.
It's like I come preset with that. Like that's always something that I've always tried to have, is that they're not just monsters. They're actually multidimensional.
In fact, if you read the fine print on
They're
Seth's
NPCs.
contract with them, you might see that he is actually evil. You know,
That's true.
Well, my point is just like
Lawyers
there is
are
a
by
reason,
nature.
There is a reason.
they're neutral evil.
There's a reason behind every. There's a lot of like things are not in a vacuum. Like a lot of times, like it's like, okay, I'm gonna go kill the monster. Okay, and then it's like monster, and what are their motivations? They're monsters, you know. Not this one. This one is like, no, this is happening because of this, and this is happening because of this. There's stories behind everything. That's what you need to know them all, but if you try, you can find out.
Seth, you should learn how to craft magic items.
That's such a nightmare. No way.
Actually, I was
not the way
thinking
this
of
game does crafting.
I was at least thinking of being able to do our own runes.
That would be great. You should do that.
If we're going all the way 1 to 20, I was thinking of getting into runes.
Yeah,
at some point.
crafting is really.
Rather buy it.
It's not that great. It's the same. The only reason you would actually
There's
do
no
crafting,
cost savings. That's
there's-
one basic thing that you have to have to understand. There's zero cost savings.
So what's all the advantages? You could make exactly what you want, but we already
You make exactly what you want, and
But you still have to have the
we're in
recipe
Absalom,
for it.
so you could buy anything
buy
anywhere.
whatever we want. Yeah.
Yep, that's the thing. It's like if you're in the middle, most times, especially when you get to the highest levels, you can't find a +3 rune. You just can't. It's going to be very hard. You have to make it. But here, you can find it. You can find anything you want. You're in Absalom. You could literally find anything you want. So it's not as important.
I like
What
that.
was it?
All right, so should I buy more scrolls of heal with my 10 gold pieces? Should I buy 2 more? I don't know.
Hey, that wand
They
of
are
heal's
kind of
pretty good.
useful.
You can never go wrong with scrolls of heal. I'll tell you that much.
I'm gonna save my gold for now.
Yeah, I kind of want to save my gold too.
I'll probably buy another heal potion or 2 just to replace the one I lost, but I'm going to think about it.
4th level, I'm going to be able to just naturally heal myself with my key power. Yeah, there's so many good feats. It's really tough decision.
The lesser healing potion is so profoundly better. That minor healing potion, the minor healing potion is basically a 1 in 4 chance of it being a waste of money.
Yeah, and why would you ever use it in combat, and why would you ever use it out of combat? Like, there's
It's
no
true.
reason to ever
It's
use
true.
it ever. I mean, maybe at 1st level, maybe.
It is a last ditch. It's incredibly cheap. 4 gold pieces is incredibly cheap, and it is a last ditch. Anybody can pour it down somebody's throat to get them back up.
Stabilize, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool magic items in here. A lot of cheap ones, too. The Crying Angel Pendant.
We'll have to investigate the wand staff situation. It looks like it's like they take charges, so they have charges, but I'm not sure how many charges they have and how you recharge it.
Per day. You basically cast spells. It's a little complex, the way it works. For spontaneous, it's a lot easier. For sorcerers, it's very easy. Basically, you use your spells to cast those spells. So you would trade out. So imagine this is actually what's happening in the other game. She has a staff of animal. It's an animal staff. Every spell in the animal staff is a spell she actually already had. So what she did is she relearned all of her spells, and then she just kept animal staff, and it's used as a repository.
Oh, so it's really just something that expands your
Yes.
your vocabulary.
It
just
expands, but for a sorcerer, it's insanely powerful because now you have 5 more spells or something. You know, it's really good. Especially if you find one or make one that, like for her, the animal staff was literally her staff. Like she was like, okay, every one of these spells she had, so she got rid of all of them and got new spells. And now
And
she
so what?
has all
And
of
it
them.
uses your slots.
Yes, it uses your slots.
I see.
So it's the equivalent of there are. I think I got to read the rules again, but it's basically gives you more spells to choose from. It gives you more abilities.
Okay, I'm not too worried about that actually. It's like the way this is going. I am a cleric. That is also. The
I
writing on the
like
wall.
that you're a
I'm
cleric.
I'm a cleric because basically I just use up like I have to heal that healing is necessary and often.
You
Yep.
might be able to do a long rest before you go out tonight. because it says resting. You only gain the resting once every 24 hours, though. So you probably can't. Actually, no, you can't because you already...
Because I had it in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, so yeah, you can't do it. So just buy some more scrolls. But it is going to be a lot of RP coming up. Very tricky RP. And it's going to be really weird. That place is weird, man. It's weird.
What was that? What was that movie? Is that Stanley Kubrick, his last movie?
Eyes Wide Shut.
Eyes Wide Shut.
Is that what it is? We're going to Eyes Wide Shut? Is that what we're doing?
No, it's way
I hope
weirder.
so.
It's way weirder than that. I can't even think of a movie that's like it's you'll see. I'll tell you the closest equivalent if you've been there, and probably the only person who knows what I'm talking about is Seth. Did you ever go to Sleep No More?
Yes. Okay, that's good.
It's very similar to Sleep No More.
Huh. What is that? What is Sleep No More? Unless it's a spoiler.
Basically, it's actually kind of easy to describe to you guys because essentially, it's commercialized. It's like LARPing. It's like a LARPing convention repackaged for non-LARPers. So they have a lot of actors doing scenes and a lot of dancers doing scenes, and all the rooms are all dressed up as different rooms. And it's in a hotel, multiple floors, and for example, one room is a street, and the different rooms off the hallway are like one is an apothecary and one is a private investigator's office, and they're all dressed like movie sets. So, and the actors doing a play do it throughout the entire building. Going from room to room, moving around, and it repeats a couple of times. So you wander through the midst of all of this activity that's occurring, and you'll be in one room, and then some actors will move in. They'll have a scene, and then they'll leave, and you can follow those actors and follow their story to a different part of the hotel, and they'll do something else somewhere else. And so there's all kinds of different sets. Like there's
is it like a murder mystery where you're participating in some way?
It's an adaptation.
Well, you can't talk.
Sleep No More is yeah, exactly. You're just spectators. It's like you're a ghost. It's like you're a ghost in the middle of a movie. And it's an adaptation of Macbeth, but it's all done in like there's no dialogue. It's like it's all done in dance and acting, and so it's kind of like it's not exactly ballet, but it is, and it's not exactly like mime or anything like that. But it is just all the scenes are acted out without dialogue, without lines.
That's crazy.
No
that
dialogue.
Is way out of the box.
it is.
Well, it gets crazier
really
because there's like one area that's like a cemetery, and there's like a forest, and it's really nuts.
Sharon and I spent an hour, because we're D&D players, right?
Yeah.
Sharon and I
it's
spent
really
an
good.
hour going through the private investigator's office because it's all dressed up.
Looking
Opening up drawers and going through his files.
Oh my god!
Like it's all
And
done
it's like
up.
five, and it's like 5-6 floors.
Yeah,
it's enormous. It's enormous.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Oh, and there's
it's
like nudity all over the place. Like people are like
there's
taking
hidden
baths.
stuff, right? There's hidden stuff,
Yeah.
like in a secret room. If you're following the right people, it's easy to get lost too because it's all dark and it's all like
really
mood
it's
lighting.
very easy.
So if you're following the right people, you'll go through a secret door, and there's a witch's coven, and they're having a festival.
Yeah, and if you follow one person, as my friend did with me, he followed one girl the whole time. If you follow one actor the whole time, they will pull you aside into a secret room and like have a soliloquy just for you. And he did this. So like he was like running around, and then she and there was a couple people, and then she pulls him in, slams the door shut, locks it, And then like everyone's like slamming, like people are like, "Yeah, let us in," like banging on the door, and he's like, oh, he was freaking out. He says, "Oh my god, I was freaking out," because he's like in this room with this girl who starts whispering in her ear, like this, like I mean, it's pre-canned, but it was like this thing, like, "Oh, I knew you've been following me like my whole life, and you've been my guardian angel." And he was like,
right.
"Oh my god!"
They call that a one-on-one.
Wow,
And you got a private. You got like a private solo
It
performance. You got a private
freaked him out. It freaked him out.
Oh god, that happened to Sharon. Sharon had to stop in the middle and leave because her one, they grabbed her and they took her up into the insane asylum. So they had her sitting in a wheelchair, and it got too intense. Like all the it was because it's all like
the whole thing gets too intense. The whole thing is too intense.
Right. It was like
it's really intense. It's really good though.
It was like what's that horror RPG that's in the insane asylum?
Arkham Horror.
Yeah, it was
Arkham
basically
like
basically it was something like that, and it freaked her out. It got too intense. Yeah,
Do the customers like wear masks?
Yeah.
Is that
yeah?
Because I'm looking at pictures,
right?
And I don't know, like, okay. So
and that's the thing, because you can't interact with the actors.
Talk,
you're
you
100% a spectator. So to enforce that, everybody's wearing a mask, and you're not supposed to talk.
Right.
And basically, it's kind of like the best LARP, like the most professionally organized and run LARPed by all the LARPers are professional actors and dancers. And
wow,
that
sounds so good.
Right, and you're a spectator getting to walk freeform amongst it while it's going on in numerous different locations, all flowing around all.
And there's crazy stuff. I saw like there was like a fight going on.
So much money. Oh my god!
There was like a fight
parties.
going on, and then they actually have like guards around, and like they would clear out the area because suddenly there was a big fight. And they're like quickly clearing out the ghosts. You know, they're the ones that like get you out of the way because there's a. Right. It's nuts. It's I went like 3 times, and the thing is, it's so gargantuan. It's like 3 hours long. It's so big that you would have to probably go like 30 times to see everything.
Yeah.
I've known people that it's a hobby to go to it. And yeah, because the actors change and they change up the performance a little bit here and there, and it's kind of like what you were saying about those people that always go to Disneyland. Like it's the same thing. Like they go like whenever they can go, they go, and they've gone like 100 times. They've gone over 100 times. We would go back because there's other elements to it.
They change it up,
right? And the bar in it is an actual bar. Like that's like when it's all over, you kind of go to the bar, and the bar is a 1930s bar. Like so the bartenders are actors being 1930s bartenders, and all of the look, and there's a cabaret performance which is like 1930s, like, you know, it's like performers doing a 1930s cabaret
straight out of The Shining.
Straight out of it. And so you go and you get yourself a martini and you watch the show, and it's like that. We would
That's pretty cool.
we would go just to that. Like we would skip the show and then we go at the end and just go to that.
You've been listening to Roll for Combat, Agents of Edgewatch. If you have a question or comment for the show, please visit us at rollforcombat.com. You can also find us and play various games on our Discord channel at discord.rollforcombat.com.